Buddy, this is Craig Sigel, the mental toughness trainer, and today I've got a special guest on our show. His name is Dr. Alan Fox, who just wrote his fourth book, Tennis: Winning the Mental Match. Dr. Fox has earned a PhD in psychology at UCLA. He's a former NCAA champion. He's a Wimbledon quarterfinalist, a three-time member of the U.S. Davis Cup team. He's coached the Pepperdine tennis team to 2 NCAA finals. He currently consults with tennis players on mental issues and lectures worldwide on sports psychology and how emotional control is one of the big keys. There's an unconscious urge to escape this stress.
Well, the way the mind is designed, it's designed slightly different than most people think. Most people think that they recognize they have an intelligent logic system, and then behind it they have an emotional system, and they think the logic system and the intelligence system runs the ship. But actually, that's not correct. The emotional system runs the ship, and the logic system is made to back up the emotional system and to meet the needs of the emotional system. For instance, 2 examples. One, we are emotionally programmed to love our children. And so that's in there, that's an emotion. And then the logical mind says, well, don't let them get near the stove when it's hot. Don't let them run out in the street. Make sure they get a good education. These are all logical thoughts, concepts, but driven by the fact that we are programmed to love our children. We're a social species, and so all social species emotionally are programmed to be concerned with the hierarchy. Who's ahead of who? And so all of us then are driven to get good educations, to have a nice car, because these are all indications of status, how we rank relative to others. We're all concerned with what other people think of us. And so then we get a good education, we work hard in our jobs, we buy nice homes, we do those things that will make other people rank us high. And so, but it's all driven by these emotional urges. So now we get to the tennis court, where the emotional programming was not designed for tennis matches. And so players get out there and they want to win very much. They very much don't enjoy losing, but yet they're under this pressure because they don't know whether they're going to win or lose when they play somebody as good as they are. And they may be under this stress for hours. And so there's an unconscious urge to escape the stress. And that emotional urge will often drive the smart mind to do things that aren't good for it. It makes people quit. For instance, they get behind and they're very likely to lose motivation, to tank, so to speak. And you'd have to say, well, why do they do that? What good does it do them to stop trying before the match is over? Well, it doesn't do them any real good. The good it does them is that once you quit, the stress goes away. Okay, so you've reduced your stress. And see, the emotional system is not interested in whether you win or not. The emotional system is interested in reducing the stress. It wants what it wants. The intelligent brain has to override it. So the great players, they may have an urge, or they would have an urge if they let themselves go, to quit when they get behind, but they're not going to let that happen. Their intelligent brain is going to drive the ship. So that's why I say the emotional control, the smart part of the brain has to control the emotional system rather than the other way around, which is the normal way. And because it's not normal, it's rare. That's why the great athletes, the great players are unusual.
That is fascinating. So here's what I just heard, that the guys and girls who make it to the top, they have learned to do that. They've learned to override that emotional thing, to take control of their system, and we do have the power to do that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we can do it, but it takes an effort. If you just let nature take its course, you go out and you play tennis match, you let nature take its course, you miss and you're going to get angry. Okay, you get behind, you're going to get discouraged. You have a little something bother you, you're going to make excuses. These are all natural. And if you yield to that, you're just going to lose. So the rare ones, the abnormal people, these champions, they recognize that, and they will use effort of will to override the emotional system. And not only do they override it, but they actually use their intelligent mind to create emotions that help them. And so if you look at this, for instance, at Jimmy Connors when he was playing tennis, he might be losing, and he makes one good shot, and he turns to the crowd and he shakes his fist and he looks up at them, and the crowd feels they're being involved in the match, and they scream and yell for Jimmy. Jimmy, we love you, Jimmy, Jimmy. And he does that not because he cares in the least about the people in the crowd. He cares about one thing, and that one thing is winning the match. And he knows when the crowd screams, it makes him feel good. And when he feels good, he plays better. So he uses his intelligent mind to create emotions. Roger Federer's, they don't need that kind of adrenaline. He's better off when he's cool. So you notice he doesn't react when he misses. The other player makes a great shot. He doesn't generally react at all because he plays better when he's more relaxed. So the great players not only control the negative emotions, but they actually create positive ones that help their game.